Hey everybody, I'm heading to my favorite coffee spot, downtown Jacksonville, Vagabond Coffee. They make a mean cappuccino and I highly, highly recommend it. As everybody knows, coffee fuels real estate. Morning, and I'm heading back to the office after getting some coffee, and we are ready to get into it. I have a busy day scheduled and trying to get a bunch of closings done. It's interesting what it takes to sell real estate, what it takes to get a property from under contract to actually closed. The marketing and the showing, the open houses, that's just the front end. People a lot of times ignore the back end. So, time to get back to work and get to it. I want to take just a few minutes to talk about this transaction management piece, or the part of selling real estate that largely happens behind the scenes. It's not part of the value of hiring a real estate agent is not only the marketing expertise on the front end, as I mentioned earlier, but it's the transaction management piece on the back end. And that part is extremely important. A lot of the work, a lot of the grunt work starts when that contract is actually signed. The signing of the real estate contract establishes and starts a complex process. Complex anyway if the transaction is going to be financed. Because what happens is the signing of a purchase and sale agreement to purchase real estate, it starts a loan application process. A typical period of escrow might last 45 days. There are several things that are happening during the course of an average real estate transaction. The buyer or buyers are in the process of obtaining financing, which can be a fairly intensive process based on the buyer's qualifications. The property also has to be evaluated. That's typically done by a home inspection and an appraisal. These are two very different things for two very different purposes. Some other things that need to take place: repairs may or may not need to be made to the property being sold. A survey needs to be done. The title work needs to be done. A title insurance policy is established as well. There are a myriad of things that have to happen. There are lots of parties involved in an average real estate transaction. You have a lender, you have an insurance provider, you have a title company, you have a surveyor, you have an appraiser. All of these people need to work in conjunction for the common goal of getting that property sold. Organizing this process can be a lot of work. It can be intensive. And if one person, one element, one party drops the ball, it can throw the entire thing out of whack. You know, one of the frustrating components or elements of real estate transactions is the lack of complete control. You don't have complete control over those disparate parties and elements and people who are participating in the transaction. You have a ringleader, and that's what my job is to do, is to help take all of these different parties, bring them together for the common goal, make sure everybody's on the same page, check in regularly to make sure that that closing occurs on time. There are a lot of variables that can come up. Some are beyond the control of anybody. You might have a title issue that comes up. You might have an insurance issue that comes up. Older roofs is a prime example of something that can throw a wrench into the entire transaction. Old plumbing, polybutylene plumbing is another common one. If that's discovered, the buyer may not be able to get insurance. If you can't get insurance, you can't get financing. So there are a lot of things that go into a real estate transaction, and challenges that can come up in the transaction piece. The transaction portion, the back end portion of selling a property, are where troubles can arise, and that's where it really helps to have a real estate professional on your side to really help you navigate through that process. That's the value that we add to the transaction. That's why you should hire us. That's what we're here to help you do. So some of you may not know, but we offer property management services as well. I'm actually leaving the office now and heading to meet a vendor at one of the properties that we're going to be offering for rent shortly to get a painting quote. Tenants just moved out not too long ago. So we'll see how that goes. Okay, so I am at 307 East 9th Street, and this is a rental that we have coming up. We've actually had this rental on our books for some time. It's been occupied for the last 3 years. I think we've managed it. It is currently vacant, and we're going to be renting it very shortly. So if you do have interest in renting in historic Springfield, you're looking for a 3-bedroom, 2 full bath house, 2-story. This one is coming up. Contact me and I'd be happy to get you some additional information. If you like these videos, please consider subscribing to our channel. We're going to be uploading videos once weekly. Every Thursday there's going to be a new video. Tune in. I hope to see you soon.